Welcome inside to Fogerty Arena here in Blaine, Minnesota, where we are set for a border battle cat clash between the 15th ranked Centennial Cougars and the Blaine Bengals. It's a matchup in boys high school hockey on the ice here on North Metro TV. I'm Matt Dean, welcoming you into beautiful Fogerty Arena, great venue for hockey here in the north suburbs of the Twin Cities. We've got 15th ranked Centennial coming in so far 3-1 on the new year and 4-1 overall on the season. They will take on the Blaine Bengals for the second meeting between these two border rivals of the year. It was the Cougars winning their 5th straight against Blaine in the all-time series with a 9-0 battering at the Centennial Sports Arena back in December. Cougars had won 3 in a row until falling to 6th ranked Andover in their last game on Thursday, and the Cougars will drop the puck and see their 4th game in 10 days here tonight as they travel nearby to Blaine, Minnesota, in just their 3rd road contest of the season. Bengals looking to shake out of a 5-game skid, and they are looking for their first in-state win with the 1-12 Bengals' lone victory on the season coming against Wisconsin-based Hudson High School in a 4-1 win back on December the 20th here at Fogerty. We'll have it coming up next. Centennial and Blaine matching up for the second time this year. We've got you covered for it on North Metro TV.
North Metro TV News is your source for local stories. Highlighting the issues in your community, we bring you the news that's closer to home. Join us as we explore the stories all around us, every day at 2:30, 6:30, and 10:30.
The past comes alive at North Metro TV, where we can help you transfer your old videotapes, films, cassette tapes, record albums, and even photographs and slides to DVD and digital so you can enjoy them again. North Metro TV, bringing the past to life.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my 3rd child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
I'll be seeing you.
No, the thing I've missed the most during this entire time, this pandemic, has been you.
I love playing to a live audience. There's nothing like it.
The COVID-19 vaccines are going to help us all get back to the moments we miss.
It's totally normal to have questions. I did too.
That's why it's so important to get informed.
So ask your doctor and get the facts. It's up to you.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father.
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward. Come together
And discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing this song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
Welcome back into Fogerty Arena. We are just about set for the opening puck drop in this one. The Centennial Cougars facing off against the Blaine Bengals in the second meeting of the season between these two border rivals. It was a 9-0 Centennial win in the first matchup at the Centennial Sports Arena earlier this year. Back on December the 6th, Cougars scored 5 first-period goals and were up 8-0 by the end of the second period. Centennial have taken the last 5 meetings unbeaten against the Bengals, including that 9-0 win earlier this year. The matchup prior to that, the last one played at Fogerty Arena, was a 1-1 tie on February 8th of last year. That was after the Cougars had routed Blaine 9-1 in the first meeting at Centennial. We'll send it down to tonight's public address announcer for the announcement of the starting lineups here at Fogerty Arena.
Starting your goal this afternoon is number 33, Centennial. That one defense is number 23, Blaine Bengals. That other defense is number 17, Harris. That one forward, number 2, Cougars. Assistant coaches are Clay Wilson, Luke Magnus, and Jonathan Kell. Head coach of the Bengals, Coach Miller Freshman. Now at this time, we ask you to please stand and remove your hats and face the west of the building as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
We're set for hockey here at Fogerty Arena. 15th ranked Centennial coming in with a record of 7-4-1, facing off against the Blaine Bengals, who come in 1 win, 12 losses. The Cougars come in sitting at 3rd in the Northwest Suburban Conference. The Bengals looking for their first in-conference and first win against an in-state opponent this year. Matt Dean on the call for you here in North Metro TV. Starting lineups just announced to the crowd. We're going to see the 3rd unit for the Cougars roll out there in terms of the forwards. Anders Westman centering a line flanked by Casey Conan, a senior with a goal and an assist on the season. Nick Carl's a freshman who scored his first varsity goal a couple of weeks back at the other rink in this building in a win against Spring Lake Park. He's the left winger. Anders Westman has 1 assist on the season centering that line. The deep pairing is Hayden Frank and Avery Klarner, a pair of seniors. Easton Cody, a sophomore, will make just his 3rd start of the season, his 2nd against the Bengals after he stopped all 13 shots that he faced and earned the shutout at the Centennial Sports Arena against the Bengals in start number 1. Blaine will send out Alex Jorgensen, a senior, Zach Triplett, a junior, and Cody Adams, a junior, as the forwards. Blake Sutherland and Caden Parent, a pair of senior defensemen, start out in the ice. Zane Spaniel is a senior, standing in net for the Bengals. Underway, draw taken away by Nick Carls here for the Cougars. Tries to cut inside, poke check in there from the Bengals. Hudson Bethel, who knocked it free, sent it down the length of the ice. It is icing going against Blaine. Here as we played 11 seconds into the first period. And we're going to have a face-off draw coming in the Bengal offensive zone. Anders Westman will slide up to the dot here to take the draw. And the Centennial Cougars win it once again. They were up 5-0 by the end of the first period, the first time these two teams matched up. Westman getting in front for the screen. Hayden Frank blasted it in from the point. It's a goal for the Cougars. They're on the board. And that is going to be a clean goal going to Number 28, Anders Westman. He provided the screen in front. He did just get a piece of that to tip it in for Centennial, who scored 24 seconds into the contest. And they lead it 1-0. Westman will get the goal. Frank with the assist. I'm not even sure that Westman got a stick on it. It might have just brushed off the jersey on its way in. 24 seconds in, and the Cougars lead it 1-0. And a fast start on the first shot on goal from either team. Wraparound attempt here in the other end is turned aside with, again, Easton Cody making his third start of the season, second, though, against the Bengals this year. Trying to pull it around on him was Cody Adams of Blaine. And here comes the Bengals on the rush with Jorgensen sending it in deep, played by Cody. Frank got the primary assist. They will also credit a secondary. I think it was announced to number 18, who will get the second for Centennial. There's it's dumped in. Top line of forwards on the ice for the first time for Centennial tonight of Peyton Blair, Harper Searles, and Drake Ramirez. Sam Meny receives the pass, and that goes D to D, and then Blair picks it up. Left winger on this top line tries to bank it ahead for Ramirez. It'll slip by him as it's cleared out of the zone by Parent. Cougars walk it back in. Pass a little bit behind Blair, is trying to knife it in from out wide. Was Austin Peterson. Him and Sam Meny in as the pair of D for the Cougars right now. Bengals making changes. Cougars will keep this top unit on the ice as they've got it behind their own cage. Swung back around to Peterson. He'll get it out wide to Peterson, one of the assistant captains, on the pass from Meny. Save made by Cody. Knocks it down and covers after it was slung at him by Lyons. And we have a stoppage here, our third of the afternoon, with 14:49 left to play. Matt Dean on the call here for North Metro TV, where we have got Centennial looking to win their fourth game of the new year in what has been a busy start to 2023 for Centennial. Looking for a wraparound, thrown in front, dangerous chance, kicked out of there by Cody as Caleb Schwark pulled that one between the circles and nearly led to a dangerous scoring chance for the Bengals. Cleared up ahead. Brock Carls receives it in the offensive zone. Slings a shot fired wide. 14:20 left to go in the first period, as the Bengals will collect, try to pass it out of their own zone. Instead, it is won back and controlled here. Ty Escobedo rifles in a shot from the point, saved by Spaniel. And we stop here with 14:11 to go in the first. Spaniel, a senior, has started every game for the Bengals this year. 1-11 record of .526 goals against and an 88 save percentage. Second-year varsity player who is one of just a handful of guys who got significant varsity minutes for the Bengals last year. He was the backup netminder last season as a junior. Bengals turning over a lot of their roster and struggling this year with a new team, new head coach, as they're led by Trevor Frischman, the former NHLer who made 3 appearances with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and he brings into the fold a relatively brand new roster that all mostly played JV last season. 6 senior departures, a couple of transfers, a talented junior who went off to play in the NAHL this year. And it is a new look Blaine team here as Klarner walks it in, shoots low, just missed the target, and a rebound chance nearly fell to the far side for LeMay to stab home. It's LeMay with the backhanded flip off the wall, getting it to Brock Carls. Pass that was intended to be centered slips all the way back down into the Centennial defensive zone, where Avery Klarner will go back to chase it. He receives the return feed from Hayden Frank. And Centennial tries to break it out, linking it up to the neutral zone instead to Blaine, as it's swung back in by Alex Jorgensen, leading point scorer for the Bengals with 2 goals and 3 assists on the season. It has been a struggle for the Bengals to light the lamp this season. Clampett touches it along to try to get it in deep. Kellen Crumweedy trying to carve it out. Frank shot from the point with a lot of traffic in front. Crumweedy was providing a screen. He nearly tipped that one into goal, similar to how the Panthers scored 24 seconds into the contest when Westman, on a blast from the point from Hayden Frank, had it deflect off him and go in. 12:26 left to go in the first period. It is Grozik settling it down for the Cougars at center ice. Tanner Grozik, the junior, sweeps it in down the left-hand side. Works it down low to the corner. Poke check free from Adams. It'll slip past the half wall and is taken out by Jorgensen. He'll pull it out wide left. Now taken on Austin Peterson. Jets by him down the left wing. Still Jorgensen. Oh, reaching in from behind to take it away was Peterson. Nice defensive play there below the red line for one of the Cougars' top two defensemen. Him and Many, who logged most of the minutes on the blue line for Centennial this year. McCoy swings it in around the wall. And that is Many trying to pick it up in the half wall as he battles with McCoy for Blaine. He'll get it onto his D partner for Centennial, Austin Peterson. Inside 12 minutes left to go in the first period. Here's Many with it. Changes being made on the Centennial side of the bench. Conan able to touch it into the offensive zone. They get the icing waved off. Westman picks it up in the corner, slips it back out where it will be collected by Caleb Krinke. Ty Escobedo swings it off the glass, offside, as it was touched by Sam Shaughnessy of Blaine. And we take a pause here with 11:14 left to go. Cougars are unbeaten in now their last 5 meetings with the Bengals, although, should be noted, the script was flipped, we should say, last year after Centennial beat up on Blaine 9-1 in the first matchup. Blaine were able to carve out a 1-1 tie in a scoreless overtime period against the Cougars in the second matchup, the last time these two teams faced off in this building. So the Bengals hoping for a similar story this year after Centennial waxed them 9-0 in the Cougars' home barn back in early December. Played out the back by Krinke, gets as far as the half wall where the loose puck's picked up. Nick Carls couldn't get it out to the blue line. Good forecheck pressure here from the Bengals. Winning a chance back, rebound, and the Bengals are on the board. That was flipped in front and banged back in off of a deflection. The initial backhander from Thomas Avery. And nice job to sweep in and collect the rebound by the second man in on the spot. It was Nathan Long who pulls this one back level for the Bengals. So just as we were saying, don't count the Bengals out. They made a game of it in the second go-around last year after getting handed it to in the first matchup. Long from Avery. And the Bengals have tied it up with about 10.5 minutes left to go in this first period. Ramirez tried to pass it in from the corner. Avery gets the lone assist. That is the first goal of the season for Nathan Long, the senior. And it's a big one to put the Bengals on the board against 15th ranked Centennial for the first time this year after the Cougs shut them out 9-0 in Centennial. Here's Peyton Blair jetting down the right wing on the backhand, tries to stuff it in front, went off the side of the cage, deflects back around. Blair will sling it, Peterson will shoot. Big save there from Zane Spaniel. Still in the offensive zone of the Cougars as Blair works it on the backhand, leaks it back out to the point. Peterson with a shot. Another save from Spaniel coming in quick succession here as the Blue Liners were peppering him in for Centennial. Check laid down by Searles to greet Caleb Schwark as he entered the zone. And now it leaks back out on the half wall. Other side, Ramirez will get it out to Searles. Good stick in to win it back from Ben Lyons, one of the Blaine forwards. Chipped back in by Many as the Bengals try to settle into an offensive set. Hudson Bethel sent it running down the left wing, took a touch, icing waved off. Wholesale line changes coming on now for Blaine with inside 9 minutes left to go in the first period. Cougars scored 24 seconds in on Westman's goal. Nathan Long, just a couple of minutes ago, tied it up for Blaine at about the 10:40 left to go mark in this opening period. Taken in deep by the Cougars. We're still looking to respond for that game-tying goal. Here's Long, the goal scorer for the Bengals, chasing it down the right wing. He's just bodied off the puck on a check from Caleb Krinke, the sophomore. Clean one up against the wall from the sophomore. Out up ahead to Heath Nelson. He had it plucked off of his stick. Puck is cleared and heads out of play with 8:14 left to go in the opening period in a 1-1 game here on North Metro TV. Matt Dean here bringing you this one from Fogerty Arena. Cougars in the midst of a stretch where they're playing 4 games now in 10 days. They have come back from the new year to start a very busy schedule. They had 16 days off between their final game of 2022, which was on the 20th against third-ranked Maple Grove, a loss, and their first of 23, which was a 10-0 win in this building. The Cougars fighting for the loose puck off to the side of the net. It crosses the goal line. The goal came dislodged, however. And are they going to wave this one off, or is it good? It was last applied on the touch from Brock Carls, who scores for Centennial. The referees are getting together to discuss whether this one is going to stand, but for now, Brock Carls has his 7th of the season, and they're calling a high stick, so no goal here against Centennial as Carls swatted into the back of the net, and now Rich Menny wants an explanation from this crew. There was a signal for goal from one of the officials, but immediately the three got together and it looked like, just had a feel like it was going to get waved off, and that's the case. High stick was the signal that waved off the goal, so Brock Carls thought he had his 7th of the year. It's wiped off. 7:53 left to go in this first period. Still a 1-1 hockey game. Ben Lyons, a junior, is set to go and take the face-off here. Rich Menny, in his 12th season as the head coach of the Cougars, still getting an explanation he's not satisfied with. He has nearly led the Cougars to 200 wins in his career as the head coach, now sitting at 195 over the course of now 11 seasons plus at the helm. He's taken Centennial to 3 state tournaments, including one as recently as 2018. Many not happy camper over there on the Centennial bench after their go-ahead goal is waved off. Chipped in by Crumweedy. Thrown out in front by Tanner Grozik as the pass was intercepted, and now walled up are the Cougars. Coming out with it is Grozik. He gets smashed down by Lyons, his opposite number, on a hit from the Bengals. Escobedo with the interception at neutral ice for Centennial. Escobedo knocked it to McCoy, who launched it up ahead now for Caleb Krinke, who collects it for the Cougars. 7:20 left to go in the first period, still tied 1-1. Here's Krinke with an end-to-end skate, fires it into the belly of Zane Spaniel. A save, which is the Cougars' 6th shot on target of the night. Bengals needed just 3 to get on the board and tie this one up so far. Third line's coming out for the Cougars. Conan, Westman, and Nick Carls. They'll have Klarner and Frank out on the ice. Bengals are going to counter with Nathan Long here in as the center. Looked like he got the first piece on the draw. Conan nearly stuffed the backhander through the wickets of Spaniel. He made the save. The goal came loose out of its moorings, so he stopped here. 7:07 left to go in the first. That last shot from the Cougars, they just updated it, their 7th of the afternoon here at Fogerty Arena. It is the first matchup between these two teams at Fogerty this year, although the Cougars have already played here over in the other rink when they blew out Spring Lake Park 10-0 in a game we covered on North Metro TV a couple of weeks back. Westman once again facing off against Long, the 2 goal scorers facing off here at the dot for each of their teams today. Blaine charging out up ahead. swerved in toward Cody, who deflected it out to the corner after it was ripped in on the initial chance from Grant Nataloni. Here's Parent firing it in, blocked by Westman in the circle on its way through before it got to his netminder, Easton Cody, the sophomore, between the pipes. Should be noted, Cody had been perfect to start the season. We mentioned pitched a shutout against the Bengals in the first go-around. Each of his first 2 varsity starts were shutout efforts. He had saved 35 of 35 in his career in 2 games this year. Also had a shutout against Spring Lake Park a couple of weeks back in the other rink here at Fogerty, as there's going to be a hit by the Bengals laid down, sending one of the Cougars into the boards. This is going to result in a penalty coming up, going against the Bengals. Taking the brunt of the hit for Centennial was Nick Carls, and they're going to get number 40, Grant Nataloni, for the roughing call. Comes with 6:13 left to go in this first period, and our first power play chance for either team. Tripping is the official call going against Nataloni. Ramirez throws it into the back of the net. Only seconds gone into the power play, and Centennial retake the lead. It is 2-1. Drake Ramirez with the power play goal. That is his 10th tally of the season. And Centennial would come in converting in the power play at an above 40% clip. Get it done once again. 12 seconds into the power play, and with 5:53 left to go in this first period. Ramirez, who just had his 11-game point scoring streak snapped on Thursday in a Centennial loss to 6th-ranked Andover, hoping to start another one as he is on the board of the power play goal. Parent skating behind his own net. Ramirez forcing nearly a turnover after he had just scored. Brock Carls gets the helper for Centennial. 5:53 left to go in the period. A power play goal for the Cougars to see them take a 1-goal advantage for the second time in this opening frame. Glove down by Ramirez. Nicely done to stay onside. Searles trying to make a move in toward the net, and he was ushered away by Blake Sutherland, the defenseman for the Bengals. Here's Meddy firing in, trying to go 5-hole, it looked like, on Spaniel. Closed up the pads and made the save. 4:50 left to go as the Bengals will clear. It's going to be icing against Blaine, and an offensive zone faceoff coming back here from a Cougar perspective. They've outshot the Bengals 9-4 in this opening period and lead it 2-1 behind goals from Anders Westman, first of the season for the senior, and Drake Ramirez, the 10th of the year for the senior and 3rd-year varsity player. Far side half wall, a battle for it. Heath Nelson leaks it back to the blue line. Glove save as it was tracked all the way off the stick of Caleb Krinke by Spaniel. And we'll have another face-off coming up, this time to the senior netminder's left. 4:36 left to play. LeMay up against Lyons in the dot. It is pinned up against the wall. Brock Carls comes out of it, out of the dust for Centennial. Carls trying to work it inside, turn and shoot. Good poke check here to win it free for the Bengals, and it's McCoy who forced the turnover and still with it the other way. He's bodied off the puck by LeMay, tracking back. You see the toughness from the senior. A little bit undersized at 5'8", 140, but Palmer LeMay can get physical with the rest of them, and guys who at times have got a significant amount of weight on him. We're going to see Ty Escobedo here hit the box now in a penalty going against the Cougars, and the Bengals will have a chance to respond back with a power play goal of their own. .4:11 left to go in the period, with Ty Escobedo, number 20, hitting the box for Centennial. Blaine have struggled on the power play this year, as you might imagine. Just 3 of 38 at 8%. Cross check against Escobedo, putting him in the box. Power play unit at 8%, as we said, 3 of 38 for the Bengals. The Cougars have killed off 78% of the penalties against them this year. They're 39 of 50 on the season. Bengals still looking to set up shop for the first time 40 seconds into the power play with 1:20 left. Sutherland will ring it in around the boards. Easton Cody comes out of his crease to play it. Triplett handling it, top of the circle now for the Bengals. Zach Triplett pirouettes around, takes it out to the half wall, leaks it back to the neutral zone, and the Bengals have to touch up. Still looking for their first shot on target on this power play opportunity, and already over a minute expired on it. 50 seconds left to go as Ben Lyons tries to skate it out of his own D zone. He'll try to pass it out now as it's tipped up ahead by Parents, and tried to kind of just get it in deep, ended up directing it on goal and made it an easy save for Easton Cody. Stopping us here, 2:52 to play in the period, and just 41 seconds left to go on this Bengal power play try. Shaughnessy, McCoy, and Grant Nataloni out there as the forwards on the power play unit. Gilbertson and Schwark working the blue line. Schwark just sent it back in deep. Blaine able to hold the zone this time. 25 seconds left to work with in the power play. Ramirez working hard on the kill. Chips it out in the neutral zone. Bengals had to retreat back in the neutral zone to avoid offsides. Now it's linked up ahead. Heath Nelson with a backhanded try. Went off the side of the net, I think. Here it's across to Many. He slings a shot. That one steered aside, and a save from Spaniel. Hip check laid down by Ramirez, but the clearance pass from Schwark made its way up to Nataloni. That will be the Cougars returning to full strength. And the power play chance coming up empty on the first of the night for the Bengals. Out wide with Caleb Schwark, fires a shot just inside the blue line. Cody keeps the play moving after he made the save and passed it out wide for the Cougars. They can get end to end very quick with just about anybody. Nick Carls, LeMay out there. Peterson picks it up along the wall, turns and shoots, sailed wide. He was hoping for a deflection in front. It might have actually taken one off the stick of LeMay, who now battles for it on the half boards with Brock Carls, who comes out with it for Centennial. Carls passes in front, covered up, paddled aside, puck still loose. Spaniel eventually covering it as Brock Carls was bearing down on him. And just swept in front. Some panic moments for the Bengals. Still trail by just one. And both teams will take the stoppage opportunity here. 1:22 left to go to make changes on both ends of the ice. So much more competitive second meeting between these two rivals, even with the season going south for Blaine out to a 1-12 start and having lost 5 in a row. They are still very much getting up for this game, and they've got an odd man rush going the other way. Oh, turned aside on a great play from Avery Klarner. It was a 3-on-2 for a brief moment. Here's Blair, who had something taken off the shot as a stick was in there from Anders Gilbertson that kind of took the steam off the effort from a really good player in Peyton Blair, and it allowed his netminder Cody, one of the assistant captains, to cover it up. Goal came loose. 1 minute and 3 seconds left to play. Cougars have outshot the Bengals 14-5 in this opening frame. Back underway as Searles won the draw. 1 minute left to go as Peterson, that's rather Hayden Frank, or rather Klarner, pumped in a shot from the point. Easy save that time from Spaniel. And it'll be Searles going up against Nathan Long again. Cougars win it. Shot from the point by Blair is blocked as Blake Sutherland got in the way of the effort on goal. 48 seconds left to go as the Bengals clear it. This will be coming back for another Cougar O-zone faceoff. Centennial in the midst of a stretch where they'll play 10 in a row against the Northwest Suburban Conference. They have started out that run 3-2. It'll pretty much be the NWSC for the most part the rest of the year for the Cougars, who have a rescheduled game when they travel to Duluth East, mixed in between up there. Centennial still, it is just their third true road contest of the year. They're looking for their first road win, having lost at Andover Thursday. And we should say they do have one road win this year, but their only other one was a trip here to Fogerty Arena when they beat Spring Lake Park 10-0 a couple of weeks back. 14 seconds left to go as Blair skates it in behind the red line, trying to link up with Searles, nearly intercepted, but Blair with a good recovery to poke it free, and now here he goes jetting down the right wing, backhanded flip, saved by Spaniel, covers up the rebound, chance too, and that was a big save right before the end of the period to keep it at a 1-goal game. Cougars led for the most part for the entirety of this period, but Blaine able to equalize before seeing the Cougars answer back. Drake Ramirez on the power play. The second goal of the night for the Cougars has Centennial in front as we take a break at the first intermission.
North Metro TV News is your source for local stories. Highlighting the issues in your community, we bring you the news that's closer to home. Join us as we explore the stories all around us, every day at 2:30, 6:30, and 10:30.
The past comes alive at North Metro TV, where we can help you transfer your old videotapes, films, cassette tapes, record albums, and even photographs and slides to DVD and digital so you can enjoy them again. North Metro TV, bringing the past to life.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
I'll be seeing you.
No, the thing I've missed the most during this entire time, this pandemic, has been you.
I love playing to a live audience. There's nothing like it.
The COVID-19 vaccines are going to help us all get back to the moments we miss.
It's totally normal to have questions. I did too.
That's why it's so important to get informed.
So ask your doctor and get the facts. It's up to you.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting
And even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other.
on a deeper level. Father,
Cosplayer,
mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward. Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing this song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers in the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
Back for the start of the second period. Cougars out shooting Blaine 17-5 in that first period of action, but Blaine able to answer back, briefly tie the game at 1-1. And Centennial reasserted their control of the game when Drake Ramirez scored in the power play. Scoring summary quickly from that opening frame of action. As we said, shots favor the Cougars 17-5. Anders Westman got the scoring started, screening the goalie in front, took a little deflection off of him on a shot from the point from Hayden Frank. Casey Conan got the secondary assist, and the Cougars, 24 seconds into the game, were on the board, leading it 1-0. Blaine would answer back and tie the game with about 10:40 left to go in that period. It came 6:15 officially into the frame. Nathan Long assisted by Avery, and then Drake Ramirez with the power play goal on the feed from Brock Carls with 5:53 left to go in the frame, made it 2-1 Cougars. So very much a game script where I think if we talked to Trevor Frischman before the game and told him your team is down 1 heading into the second, that would be a situation Bengal fans would sign up for. Really competing hard, playing well against a Centennial team that maybe has the edge on them in pure talent, but it's a rivalry game, and you've got to throw the record books out the window, so to speak. We're underway here in the second. Centennial controlling. Poke check here, broken up free. Alex Jorgensen gets loose down the right wing, tried to feed it inside on the second effort. Eventually he's able to get it in. Good defense by the Cougars on the rush, turning aside that chance. Zach Triplett was denied from a centering pass. Cougars just never let that puck get into the slot. Blair fires a shot, blocked by Parent, and it gets down in deep below the red line for Centennial. Searles slips it across, drop back to the point. Hayden Frank fires a shot that misses high and wide. Frank had one of the assists in the first period for the Cougars, coming from the blue line. Up ahead now to Schwark. Schwark pulls back, has it sticked aside by Searles, and the Cougars break out quickly with Peyton Blair. Blair tries to go top shelf, misses the target. It'll get back out to neutral ice. Many picks it up, slides it across to Frank. He'll send it in, tipping into the offensive zone, as we have played now just about a minute and 20 seconds into this second frame. Matt Dean here, bringing to the action on North Metro TV. Blaine and Centennial facing off for the second time this year. Cougars are unbeaten in 5 previous matchups with Blaine, including beating him 9-1 earlier this year. Cougars won the first game at Centennial, tied Blaine in a 1-1 tight one in the second one here at Fogerty last season. Many pinned up by Lyons, who was able to kick it out to one of his teammates in white for the Bengals. No attack here in this side of the ice to the left of us, here from our perch at Fogerty Arena. LeMay on to Brock Carls. Carls shooting, and it took a tip off of one of the Bengals sticks. Stays in play, ringing off the glass. Brock Carls receives it on the half wall far side. Tried to feed it inside. Backhanded stuff by Nelson. Save from Spaniel, rearing around a lot of traffic around him to see and track that shot. It is cleared for icing on the Bengals. It should be said, Zane Spaniel playing, I think, tremendously to keep the Bengals in this game. He gave up 2 goals in the first period. One of them, a really good screen in front. You probably have to put that one against the defense for letting Westman get into such good position between the circles, and it took a deflection off of one of the skaters on a shot from the point. That's tough to stop for a goaltender. Gave up a power play goal as well, and otherwise played really, really well, stopping 15 of the 17 in that first period. Spaniel jerking his head around his shoulder, looking where that puck is in behind him. Wraparound chance. Carl's trying to go for it. His second attempt stuffed and deflected wide on another save from Spaniel. And the Cougars working it like it's a power play here, but at even strength, 5-on-5 with just over 14 minutes left to play in the second. Leak back out for Nelson, waits for his teammates to touch back up, had to kind of dangle away from one of the Blaine defenders, Avery, and it led him to walking into the zone in an offside position. 13:57 left to go in the second. Both teams will make line changes here for a neutral zone face-off coming. The line that produced the game's first goal are on the ice for the Cougars. Here's Westman dropping it back to Krinky on the face-off win. Ty Escobedo into Conan, who clips it along the wall. Icing waved off as it's sent in. Carls lays down a check. Westman got there. They're going to get Nick Carls for that check up against the boards. A cross check. That will send number 11 to the sin bin coming up for Centennial. Second power play opportunity for the Bengals. Both infractions going against the Cougars have been for cross checks. This one comes with 13:46 left to go in the second period. Blaine converting at a less than 10% clip in the power play this year, and the Cougars just a couple of ticks south of 80% on the PK, as we mentioned in the first try. Fired, never got through. You could see Cody reaching up trying to make the phantom glove save. It was blocked up in front on its way in for the shot. Here's Blair passing it in nicely to Searles, who shoots it into the chest of Zane Spaniel, who stops the shorthanded opportunity for the Cougars. And we are 19 seconds into a 2-minute power play for the Bengals, and now Blaine are going to have to try to win a face-off draw and get it out of their own defensive zone. Here's its Lions up against Searles. Won by the Cougars. They'll back out to neutral ice as Frank slings it back in. A little bit of time wasting here. Smartly done by the Cougars in the PK. 30 seconds gone of the 2 minutes on the skater up advantage for the Bengals. Sutherland throws it in and a shot from the neutral zone. Easily tracked by Cody, and the Cougars clear. Minute 15 left on the power play. Shots in the game now favor the Cougars 21-6. Blaine have had just one shot in this period after the Cougars were up 17-5 at the end of the first. Far side corner, a scrum for it. Bengals come out with it. Lyon able to kick it to his stick. Slip it off now, and a poke check free. It's a 2-on-none. Harper Searles gets it back, lays it off. Oh, Searles into the open net. Tic-tac-toe passing between him and Blair. Beautifully done as Harper Searles bags the goal on a short-handed chance, and it's 3-1 Centennial. I mean, they had just about 7 passes back and forth between each other, it felt like. Tic-tac-toe, back and forth. Searles gave it up, then Blair, then back to Searles. Bangs it home for his 7th of the season. A beautiful goal, and that extends Harper Searles' point-scoring streak to 13 in a row. Searles from Blair to make it 3-1 Centennial. But the goal coming at around 12:30 left to go in the period. Stopped up here as a couple of players collide in behind Spaniel and the Blaine net. And now we'll see if anyone's going to get sent off here to the box. And it looks like they're ushering number 25, Anders Gilbertson, into the plexiglass prison for Blaine coming up now. So a second power play opportunity now for Centennial in this game. Again, they send away 25, Gilbertson, with 12:15 left to go in the second. Blaine comes out with a draw, shorthanded. Collected here by Austin Peterson. Leak back out to neutral ice. Peterson feeding it inside. Ramirez missed it top corner. Here's Nelson cutting inside for Centennial. Paddle the side. Another good save from Spaniel. Peterson tried to slip it across off a parent stick, flying for a dangerous souvenir into the stands. We're hoping we don't get any of those headed our way on this side of the ice today. 11:39 left to go. It is very shallow glass, particularly on our side of the ice here at Fogerty Arena. And that one came flying into the stands. just on the half wall where that netting does not extend all the way out to. Cougars still on the power play for another minute 10. Blair slips it off for many. Sends it in deep. Brock Carls, nice spinorama off the wall to keep it alive. Leaks it back out to the point. Blair pokes it ahead for Searles. Blair finds it on the blue line. Carries it into the slot. He was steered aside on an important stick in from Caden Parent. Still in the Cougar offensive zone and on the power play for another 45 seconds. Bengals able to clip it back out to neutral ice. Swung in by Parent. And the Cougars will retreat and try to set back up shop behind their own cage. Searles comes out with it now for Centennial. Dropped off for many. 10:44 left to go in the period. 25 seconds in the power play. Many feeds it inside. Ramirez off his stick a little heavy as it's intercepted by Blake Sutherland. He'll stall for time in the neutral zone and chip it in. Cougars leading at 3-1. A terrific second period goal from Harper Searles and Peyton Blair on a 2-on-none against the netminder. Spaniel fired in as Blair was headhunting for one upstairs once again. Searles will tow it up to Blair. He tries to feed it inside between his legs as now the Bengals are back to full strength. And Carls holds it on the blue line. To the edge of the slot, fires it in, and it's swallowed up by Spaniel. Stoppage here with 10:04 left to play, second period. Been a good one here from the Fogerty Ice Arena. Only 6 shots on target for the Bengals. They got their lone goal in the first period, tied it up with about 10:40 left to go when Nathan Long scored to wash away Anders Westman's game-opening tally. Ramirez in the power play and Searles shorthanded have added 2 since for Centennial. First 3 goals of the game in the first, and the Cougars with the only one so far here in the second. Second line centered by Parker LeMay. Nelson and Brock Carls on the flanks are out there for the Cougars. He's going to be staring down Ben Lyons in the face-off circle, but Bengals will make a last-second change and swap some guys on. It's going to be Long, the center, coming out there with Grant Nataloni. And the Cougars will counter with a change of their own and bring out the third unit again of Westman, Conan, and Nick Carls. So a little bit of gamesmanship there as Trevor Frischman and Rich Meny kind of balance out their lines and get the guys they want on the ice in the matchups. Hayden Frank on the wall, slipping it in for Conan. Backhander feed out for Carls off to the side of the net. Carls came crashing down on a hit down there by Hayden Frank. Cougars try to send it in front. Parent tries to leak it out. Nataloni launching it back out to the neutral zone. Nataloni along the wall, blocked the pass in from Frank. Frank on the second effort tries to pull it out wide to Westman. It was intercepted by Hudson Bethel. But still intense forecheck pressure coming from the Cougars. Frank steers it into the slot, took a deflection, save made by Spaniel. I think it was in the back of the net off of Conan had he not stopped it. Lost his stick on the way, has to pick up the equipment. The Bengals clear it again for another icing coming up. And again, I mean, Zane Spaniel, when he has needed to make the saves and under any feasible possibility where he could, he has come up big so far here today. Only goals he's given up, one on the power play on a cross crease pass, another one in a 2-on-none when his defense didn't help him out, and another one on kind of a deflection on its way from the shot from the point. Otherwise, he has really made a handful of top drawer saves and stopped 21 of 24 today, and a big reason the Bengals are still in this thing despite being outshot 24-6. Here comes Clampett down the right wing, throws it in front, steered aside again from Zane Spaniel. 8:40 left to go in the period. Even strength opportunity here. Carls tried to throw it in front. Another shot in. is saved after it was blasted in from the wall by Caleb Cranky. He took a hard check from number 6 for Blaine, Landon McCoy, who laid him down with the lumber there. 8:32 left to go. And the Bengals will swap out some skaters here before another defensive zone faceoff. This second period, the ice heavily tilted towards this end of the ice as Alex Clampett wins the draw. Fired in by Escobedo. Took a couple of ping pong bounces in on its way toward the goal, but missed wide. Escobedo flips it up for Clampett on the carom. Clampett sends it in where Hudson Bethel picks it up for Blaine. He tries to swing it around the wall. Held in by the Cougars. Crumweedy fires it into the back of the net, and it's 4-1 Cougars as Centennial starts to pull away. That's the second of the season for the sophomore, and some much-needed breathing room from a Centennial perspective. They take a 3-goal lead. Kellen Crumweedy, junior who wears number 3 with his first goal of the season. And the Cougars have the largest advantage of the night from either team, 4-1. In behind where Many slips it behind his back, gets it to Hayden Frank. Oh, nice breakout pass, just a little bit ahead of Heath Nelson. Apparently did not get the blade of his stick on it, so icing going against the Cougars, but they love to get out on the rush and create a lot of their offense that way, and you nearly saw another very quick breakout from Centennial end to end. Cougars, who last year won 18 games, were the 4th place finishers in the NWSC. Unassisted goal for Crumweedy on that last tally, officially announced, by the way, for Centennial. Cougars coming into play today sit 3rd in the conference, out to a 5-2 start. I think for Centennial, they've really looked impressive this year, and yeah, they already have faced probably the 2 best teams in the conference in what is, I would argue, the best conference in the state in the Northwest Suburban for boys hockey. Here is Austin Peterson is going to be sent to the box for a hooking call going against number 12 for Centennial. 3rd penalty called against the Cougars, 7:37 left to go, and it's a power play opportunity once again for the Bengals, who to this point have gone 0 for 2 and given up a short-handed goal here tonight. Centennial right now, I think, looking like they have a chance to be probably the 3rd best team in the conference. They had a dominating win against Champlain Park, who are a really good team to start the season, but were able to best the Rebels in a matchup earlier this week, 6-3. Led behind the strength of a 4-goal night from Peyton Blair. Answered back in a big way. So Centennial sitting at 3rd in the conference, and deservedly so. And still with some opportunities to face top-class competition in Maple Grove and Andover. Still coming up another couple of times against each of those opponents later this year. As this is whacked at by Zach Triplett. Blocked by a couple of red shirts in front. Here's the Cougars looking for their second shorthanded opportunity. Blair switches backhand and scores. Peyton Blair scores the second shorthanded goal of the afternoon for the Cougars. He set up Searles the first time, and this time Blair adds his first of the game. 19 on the season now for the terrific senior Peyton Blair. Centennial's lead is out to 5-1, 6:35 left to play in the second. Bengals win the draw. They have given up now 2 short-handed goals on the afternoon in the first matchup of our doubleheader here this evening. That was nearly stuffed in front on a feed in from behind by McCoy. They give Searles the assist for Centennial. So goal and assist for number 17 as well tonight. Blair and Ramirez, the two top-line wingers for the Cougars, both had their 11-game point-scoring streaks snapped to start the year on Thursday night when the Cougars' potent offense were held to just one goal against last year's state champions Andover in a loss on the road Thursday night. Blair still, even with being held without a point on Thursday, has now scored in 11 of 13 games this year. Not just scored a point, but scored a goal. Ramirez out to LeMay. He tries to fire top shelf. It was blocked by one of the Blaine defenders in front, and it tipped up into the netting behind goal. 5:28 left to go in the second now. Still a 5-1 Centennial advantage. They led by one at the first intermission. Searles, Crumweedy, and Blair have all scored to flex that out to a 4-goal lead. Forecheck pressure coming as Sutherland tries to pass it out. Gets it up to Triplett, who was able to connect nearly up to Jorgensen. Casey Conan will sweep it back in, icing against the Cougars with 5:11 now to go in the second period. Talking about where the Cougars sit in the the Northwest Suburban Conference, rather. They've finished among the top 4 in the league each of the last 3 seasons, hoping to do that again this year. So we said a couple of losses to Maple Grove and Andover. Their record at an unimpressive 7-4-1, but they have played some of the top competition in the state of Minnesota this year, including losses to Maple Grove, last year's Class A state champs Hermantown, who they played in a close game, went to a tie after overtime at the Centennial Sports Arena back in December. And just another really strong schedule put in by Rich Meny that has largely been played all at home for the Cougars this year. They got a home-and-home scheduled with Roseau, where they made a trip up north last year, but Roseau came down this year. They still had that trip to Duluth East to make up from a snow out a couple of weeks back, but largely have been settling into the home barn this year, and now 2 of their 3 home games have been here at Fogerty Arena. Very short bus ride over from Circle Pines to get to the game against a couple of border rivals. Here, as a hard check is laid down on Escobedo. Cougars kept it in front. Oh, still stabbing at it, trying to find the game's 6th goal for Centennial. Conan reaching around. His shot never got through. Nick Carl's on the half wall now for Centennial. Closed down by the Bengal defense, who still only are able to sweep it along the wall and not get it out of the defensive zone. Finally cleared, but once again it'll go for icing after Thomas Avery got it out. And with 4 minutes 8 seconds left to go, coming back for another face-off in Spaniel in the Bengals defensive zone. Glad you could join us here. A little Saturday afternoon hockey, a border rivalry series between 2 of our North Metro TV schools, the Blaine Bengals and the Centennial Cougars. Great spot for high school hockey. First time I've gotten to call a game in the main rink here at Fogerty Arena. Got the Spring Lake Park and home of the Bengals. Here's those 2 schools share it. Oh, that one ringing off the top crossbar on the blast from the point by Hayden Frank. Went up into the rafters, I think, and then deflected back down onto the ice. They'll reuse that puck and get us back underway with inside 4 minutes left to go. Get to see a lot of the great names that have played for Spring Lake Park and Centennial. We got David Backus watching us just over our shoulder with his mural on the wall. One of the Spring Lake Park Panther greats, Nick Busted, and several others looking on. There's also a picture and pretty prominently featured of Trevor Frischman, one of the great players who won a state championship with Blaine back in the year 2000, played at Colorado College, and as we mentioned, 3 games in the NHL for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now the first-year head coach of the Bengals, looking on for the bench from Blaine. Reaching out to make a save was Easton Cody, or rather Spaniel again for Blaine. Easton Cody hasn't had much to do here in the second period as he reaches back to paddle it along to Avery Klarner, and the Cougars break it out. Chip pass up ahead, going to be skated down by Sutherland first as we're into the final 3 minutes of the second period. Cougars up 5-1. And our matchup here at North Metro TV, Brock Carls forcing the turnover. Carls still cuts to the backhand and has it steered wide as he was ushered outside, thrown in front. LeMay trying to scoop up the rebound and put the biscuit in the basket, but it is saved and covered up once again by Spaniel, who's going to wheel out to the corner and take a little mental health break as he has had a lot to do. He deserves it over there for the Bengals. 2:36 left to go. We'll have a drop coming up here between LeMay and taking the draw for the Bengals, number 8, Nathan Long, who has scored the only Blaine goal of the afternoon so far. Shot never got through to Spaniel, blocked out in front. Carried out wide and to the corner by the Cougars. Some Centennial fans were hoping for a hold there along the wall as one of their guys, Heath Nelson, got dragged down. Play on. Brock Carls cutting in front to his forehand, tries to sling a shot, blocked out in front by the Bengals. Here they come. Avery just gets upended by Peterson in the neutral zone with a body check. Inside 2 minutes left to go. Many pinned his guy up against the wall, and now it's up to Austin Peterson. Minute 50 left to go. Peterson dangling, shooting, laying out to block the shot was Caden Parent. It'll be cleared by the Bengals the length of the ice, coming back for a Cougar offensive zone faceoff with a minute 45 left to go in the second. If you're just joining us, Centennial scored 24 seconds into the game. Westman assisted by Frank and Conan. It was Nathan Long tying it up on a feed from Avery. Later on in that first period, Centennial would go into the first intermission with a lead thanks to Drake Ramirez's 10th goal of the season. He scored with 5:53 left on the power play. The Cougars have scored 3 times here in the second, twice shorthanded to take now a 4-goal lead. The tallies have been scored from Searles, Crumweedy, and Blair, with Searles and Blair getting 2 beautiful goals on shorthanded chances, including one where Searles scored on a feed from Blair, where those 2 guys were passing it back and forth on a 2-on-none. Here's a penalty, is going to be stopping up play with a minute 22 left to go in the period, and they're going to get one of the Cougars. Protests coming from Drake Ramirez, who will be sent to the box for Centennial. And I'm sure casual fans watch, and it's like, look, why is Drake Ramirez arguing this tripping penalty when his team is up by 4? But that is kind of the mentality that a lot of the best players at any level have. They are going to be fired up about any call that they see going differently their way. They want to win bad, and Ramirez wants to stay out on the ice, even with the game pretty well in hand. A trip against number 34 puts the Bengals on the power play. As we mentioned, this has been a more productive stretch for the Cougars. Bengals have been a man up and let in 2 goals so far here today. Triplett sends it in deep for the Bengals as Caden Parent holds the line. Parent across to Triplett with space on the circle, slips it across. Parent, Harper Searles came jetting in to steal it away for the Cougars. Now it's up ahead to Peyton Blair. He's got Searles to his left. Oh, switches backhand, tries to stuff it in front. Rebound still followed by Peyton Blair. Beautiful toe drag to the backhand. Took away one defender and then couldn't get it past Zane Spaniel, who continues to come up with some big saves for the Bengals. 40.9 seconds left to go, and we've seen Spaniel a few times take a little bit of a skate along that red line in between plays just to try to shake off all the action that he's seen here today. And he has seen a lot of shots and played particularly well despite letting in 5 goals. 37 shots on target now for the Cougars, as this one after the faceoff is leaked out to neutral ice. Penalty was just called against Harper Searles on that last breakaway, so we've got 4-on-4 hockey. Or beg your pardon, that'll be Parent for Blaine, canceling out the power play. So they've now got Couple of Bengals skaters in the box. We've got 4-on-4 hockey. 13.5 seconds left to go in this second period. Face-off coming in the Centennial D zone. Tried to go D to D with the pass. Did the Bengals. Sutherland in behind as he missed the mark on Schwark. Bengals have to touch back up. Get it in deep now as Sutherland runs out of time and fires it into the glass in frustration as Centennial comes away scoring 3 times, twice short-handed here in the second. And it's Centennial now up by 4 on the Bengals as we head to the second intermission on North Metro TV.
North Metro TV News is your source for local stories. Highlighting the issues in your community, we bring you the news that's closer to home. Join us as we explore the stories all around us, every day at 2:30, 6:30, and 10:30.
The past comes alive at North Metro TV, where we can help you transfer your old videotapes, films, cassette tapes, record albums, and even photographs and slides to DVD and digital so you can enjoy them again. North Metro TV, bringing the past to life.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
I'll be seeing you.
No, the thing I've missed the most during this entire time, this pandemic, has been you.
I love playing to a live audience. There's nothing like it.
The COVID-19 vaccines are going to help us all get back to the moments we miss.
It's totally normal to have questions. I did too.
That's why it's so important to get informed.
So ask your doctor and get the facts. It's up to you.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an
to
effort.
get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father.
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward. Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing this song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
Back here at Fogerty Arena, the Cougars able to score 3 times in the second, including twice shorthanded, to start to assert their dominance in this game. On the scoreline now reflecting it 5-1 Centennial as we head to the third. Matt Dean welcoming you back to our broadcast here at Fogerty Arena on North Metro TV. This was a tense affair, believe it or not, in the first. While the Cougars largely dominated in shots, 17-5 in that first frame. It was only a 2-1 lead, and Blaine briefly pulled the game back even. It would be Searles scoring and a short-handed feed from Peyton Blair on some beautiful tic-tac-toe passing by the Cougars to start things out in that second. It came with 12:37 left in the period. Kellen Crumweedy scored an even strength unassisted with 8:10 left to go. And then Blair got his shorthanded goal with 6:35 left to go to make it a 5-1 Centennial lead. Bengals win the draw to start the third. We're back underway. Blair switching forehand, kind of faked the switch, stayed on the forehand and shot it wide. He collects it now in behind the red line, slipping it in front as we start with 4-on-4 hockey here to begin this third period. We still have Caden Parent in the box for a cross check that came with 41 seconds left to go at the end of the second. And Drake Ramirez for a kneeing penalty is in the box right now, and he will just come back onto the ice as we say that for Centennial, and it is a brief Cougar power play for about 40 more seconds. Here's Ramirez, fresh out of the box, shoots it, rebound was there, picked up and cleared by Ben Lyons. Gets it out as far as the blue line. Harper Searles kind of forced back into the neutral zone. And so the Cougars have to reset the power play here. 16 minutes left to go. Blair walks it in with 15 to go in the power play. Back out to Meny. Holds it on the blue line. Meny finds Blair on the half wall. Leaks it down low, rotating with Harper Searles, who shoots. And that one's turned aside by Zane Spaniel, number 33 in net. Here's Searles in the left wing, shoots it off the shoulder of Spaniel. Another save. The Bengals are back to full strength in a race for it now. Here's Caden Parent in on Cody, makes a save, glancing off his right shoulder as it sailed high on the net. 15:20 left to go now in the third period. Bengals nearly getting an opportunity to get one back. It is still 5-1 Cougars. Same score as when we left you at the end of the second. Ramirez keeping it moving along the wall. Blair the feet inside of the circle to Searles. Cleared partially by Parent. Stays in the offensive zone. Reaching back to try to get it out was Nathan Long. Ramirez plays it in behind the red line. Takes a hard check from Grant Nataloni. Here's Searles cruising into the offensive zone for Centennial. Drops it off. It is stolen away by Blaine's Hudson Bethel. He'll clear it the length of the ice, and it's coming back for a defensive zone faceoff. 14:39 left to play. Cougars are going to continue a 10-game stretch, all against conference opponents. They will play at Robbinsdale, Armstrong, and Cooper, the co-op program, on Thursday on the road. That'll be their longest road trip of the season at this point. Just a couple of games previously here at Fogerty. A loss at Andover on Thursday, and they'll continue the NWSC slate. Big one coming up as Centennial will host Rogers at the Centennial Sports Arena next Saturday. We were kind of pitching that maybe the Cougars are the third best team in this very tough Northwest Suburban Conference. They'll have to prove it on the ice as they take on a Rogers Royals team who won the league a year ago. Lost to Maple Grove in the section final. Here's this one's cleared out. Still some work to do for the Cougars as they'd like to build on that 4-goal lead and rest on their laurels late. Get some of the role players involved a little more. Icing coming back here for another D-zone faceoff. Blaine are going to have a date at home here at Fogerty with 6th ranked Andover coming up next on Tuesday. They'll continue in NWSC action as they host Totino Grace on Thursday. So a lot of hockey action on the boys' side coming up this week here from Fogerty Arena. They will also play Saturday out of conference next week against Holy Family at a Section 2. Leak back in where it's picked up by Caleb Krinke. He's out there with Escobedo. The line of Brock Carls, Palmer LeMay, and Heath Nelson out as the forwards. Here's Nelson for Centennial. Got Crumweedy to his left, finds Carls. He shoots it off the chest of Spaniel, who makes another save. That is his 36th of the afternoon. Clear down for another icing against the Bengals, and it is coming back here onto the Bengal defensive end. Rich Meny trying to get his team ready for a gauntlet run in the Northwest Suburban Conference. It's already begun. Another quick cover up and save by Spaniel. Cougars, who made an appearance in the state semis when they last made it to state in 2018. Since then, they've appeared in the section final once. Conan stuffing at it with a backhanded try, and they'll say clears the goal line and in. Casey Conan with the 6th for Centennial here today. For Conan, the senior, that is going to be his 2nd of the season, his 2nd point of the game after a first period helper, and the Cougar lead is out to 6-1. Even strength goal for Casey Conan puts Centennial out to a 5-goal lead, so we're not yet into running time here in the 3rd period, but that's been something that's becoming a little bit too routine from a Bengal perspective, as the Cougars have not just gone unbeaten in the last 5. There was a tie mixed in there between last year, but 3 times during this 5-game unbeaten run, which right now looks like it's going to be 6. The Cougars have gone to running time. Fed inside, Westman out wide to Conan, who just scored the last goal for Centennial. Skips by Westman, and Meny will shoot it back into the zone for the Cougars. Now approaching 50 shots on goal on the afternoon are the Cougars. Westman taking a couple of whacks at it, never cleared through past a couple of Bengal bodies in the way, including Caden Parent. Oh, stuffed that on a try the other way. And it's turned aside by Easton Cody, looking to pick up his 2nd win in net against the Bengals this year. It will be his 3rd of the season. Parent sweeps it up ahead into the stride of Thomas Avery. Avery is run down there in a play by Casey Conan. Track back to Crumweedy, who takes it out behind the red line for Centennial. Held in by Long. Flips it in behind the net where Sam Meny finds it, the coach's son. Meny throws it away to Long. Long entered the zone briefly as it nicked off of his stick by Westman. He'll chip it in, hop into the Centennial bench. Inside 12 minutes left to go in the 3rd period. Held out there by Crumweedy. Tries to get it in for Grozick. Out there in the line, centered by Alex Clampett, the 4th unit for the Cougars. Frank shot from the point, tipped up by Adams toward the corner, where Clampett will keep it alive on the cycle for the Cougars. Pass back out to the point. Shot on by Frank's D partner Avery Klarner. Grozick races back into the neutral zone to sweep it back to Avery Klarner. Klarner on to Clampett, and the Cougars will settle back down here. 11:10 left to go. A 5-goal lead for Centennial. Cougars scored 24 seconds into the game. Briefly, the game was tied 1-1 in the first, but Centennial have been in front ever since Drake Ramirez's power play goal put them up with 5:53 left to go in the first period. 2 goals scored on short-handed opportunities for the Centennial Cougars tonight. They got a goal and an assist apiece from Peyton Blair and Harper Searles, the 2 top liners and top scorers for Centennial this year, the 15th ranked team in the state, who now each respectively have 35 points for Searles and 30 points for Peyton Blair, 2 guys who are coming off 50-plus point seasons a year ago as juniors. And Drake Ramirez, not too shabby. He had a 23-point season last year He has now matched that with his 10th goal of the season here tonight and 23 total points. Searles tries to shoot it top shelf, sailing wide on Harper Spaniel. Centennial have looked really good today. They've missed on a lot of their shots like that. These guys are so good at shooting it and elevating the puck. And they've sailed a few on Spaniel where maybe on a better shooting night, Centennial are leading by an even more significant margin as that one was squeezed by Zane Spaniel on the shot in from Peyton Blair. It'll be Searles to take the face-off coming up for Centennial, and he wins the draw back for the Cougars. Here's Blair wheeling around, 10:05 left to go, third period. Crumweedy tries to let her, that or Krinky, we should say, tries to let her rip from the point. His shot got blocked on the way, and now Krinky feeding Searles on his way into the offensive zone. Schwark will get there first for the Bengals. Schwark gets stapled up to the boards. Good forecheck pressure. Drake Ramirez in there below the red line. Blair couldn't intercept the pass. Krinky sweeps it back in on a backhander for Centennial. 9:38 left to go, third period. Cougars lead is out to 5 with Casey Conan getting in on the scoring party. And we have seen 6 different Centennial goal scorers here tonight. Westman, Ramirez, Searles, Crumweedy, Blair, and Conan. Here is Escobedo, low-driven shot, turned aside by Spaniel. Searles, one of the co-captains, wheels out, launches one through. Peyton Blair will collect it off the wall. Oh, nearly across to Searles. That was an important stick in from Jorgensen to deflect the pass. Out and out of Blair on the red line. He tries to cut inside and shoot. Missed it. Here's Searles picking it up off the rebound. Searles inside, stuffed it into the belly of Zane Spaniel once again. 8:51 left to go. We pause here. And line changes coming on for both these teams. Win today is going to make it 6 straight unbeaten for Centennial against the Bengals. It will be a 6-game losing skid for Blaine overall on the season as the Cougars would polish off a season sweep of their border rivals. Overall in this series here, as Avery had a pretty good goal scoring opportunity, turned aside by Easton Cody. Bengals race after it in their own defensive zone, and Spaniel comes out to play it. Last 10 seasons in the series, it's been pretty even, although it started to heavily tilt in Centennial's favor the last couple of years. Cougars lead it 10-8-2 in the series over the course of the last 10 seasons. 3 of the last 5 before this one have seen 6-goal leads in the third period, needing running time. We haven't quite reached that point yet. Open net for Nelson. Great sliding save across the crease from Zane Spaniel to wall it off for Blaine. And now a shot shy of 50 on the afternoon for the Cougars as that one's rifled wide, but the rebound is pushed in by Palmer LeMay, the 7th different Centennial goal scorer here today. LeMay bags his 6th of the season and his 2nd against Blaine this year. With 7:39 left to go in this game, Palmer LeMay lights the lamp. It is 7-1 as we get back underway in quick order. Anders Westman in the third line out there, and now we might see some hard hits start to lay down as the frustration builds for the Bengals. Casey Conan skating in, looking for his 2nd, misses the mark. Held in by Centennial. Conan was hoping for a rebound after the shot from Krinky, and Conan kind of up there jarring up by the net with one of the Bengals skaters, number 19, Hudson Bethel, getting between his netminder and the big body, Casey Conan, a senior who has scored and had a 2-point game here this afternoon. Inside 7 minutes left to go. Drop back after the face-off draw, fired in from the point by Krinky. Never got through. Here's the Bengals clear it out. Ty Escobedo tries to link it up to Westman. He is one of the 7 different Cougars that have scored a goal today. Nick Carl's in an offside position, and it whistles this play back. We are into running time now here in the third period. Clock continues to run with 6.5 to play in this third and final frame. Draw goes back to Escobedo. Krinky caroms it ahead for Carls to chase after it. Swept around by Zane Spaniel. Conan gloves it down. Parent nearly came away with it. Here's Nick Carls picking it up below the red line. To Krinky now. Krinky fires. Steered aside, and a paddle save from Spaniel as he threw that stick down on the ice between the blockers. Out wide. And Blaine gets it as far as the blue line, not able to enter the zone. 5:50 to go into running time. Escobedo across to Krinky. With Centennial next in action at home against 6th-ranked Andover, or that'll be rather Blaine in action against 6th-ranked Andover on Tuesday. Penalty going to come back here on a trip, sending one of the Bengals to the box as they will get Cody Adams for the infraction here. And no, they're going to get one of the Cougars, I believe. Referee's going to come over and get his man. And I think he initially was signaling for someone else. The Blaine bench corrected him on who needed to get sent to the box, and eventually they usher Adams over there. And so for the final 5 minutes here into running time, a couple of it will be played with the Cougars on the power play. Quick shot by Nelson after the faceoff win. Spaniel makes the save. He now has 48 stops on the afternoon. So what's been an ugly scoreline slanted toward the Cougars. He has had a lot of work to do back there and stood really tall, especially in the first and early in the second period when Blaine were still in this thing. Rugby scrum for it in the corner on the far side. Centennial are going to head to Robbinsdale on Thursday night in NWSC action to take on Armstrong Cooper. They'll be back at home to face Rogers in a big Northwest Suburban Conference bout next Saturday. Frank off to Peterson. Tried to drop it down low to LeMay. Off of his stick to Nick Carls below the red line. 1:05 left to go in a power play. 4 minutes left to play in this third period, with the Cougars leading the Bengals 7-1 here at North Metro TV. It'll be chased down by Austin Peterson back here for the Cougars. Centennial taking their time. They scored 9 goals in a first matchup with Blaine in the Cougars barn. 9-0 was the final in that one. They had a 10-0 win earlier this year at Fogerty against Spring Lake Park, as Frank has it tipped off the stick of Lyons. Stays in the offensive zone with Peterson on the half wall now for the Cougars. Frank up top. 18 seconds on what is still a Centennial power play. Flipped inside to Ramirez. Turns, shoots, saved as it's tipped up by Spaniel. Nick Carls drops it off. Nice cross ice feed now to Frank. Here it's with LeMay. LeMay feeds it inside. Triplett with an important stick. Soccer player in the fall for the Bengals and one of the top 6 forwards for Blaine in the winter. Lyon directs it out wide as Ramirez came back in. Power plays done for the Cougars. Blaine are back to full strength. Ramirez behind the cage to Peterson. Lines up a slapper, blocked off the ankle. Number 2, Cody Adams, who is still coming up a little bit gingerly and not putting the full weight on one of those 2 legs. Hard-earned shot block there. He gets a fist bump from Avery as he'll head to the bench. 2:20 left to go. Clock still running, and both teams will make line changes here. And a couple of more switches probably still to come here in the final 2 minutes. Escobedo launches from the point, and another save from Zane Spaniel. He has now stopped an incredible 49, make it 51 here tonight. 58 shots up on the board now for the Cougars. I think this is just an offside call against the Cougars. Yep. And we're going to have A face-off coming up at neutral ice. See a few of the fourth liners get some minutes now for Blaine. Ryan Salo is going to come in. Lockman, number 14. As well as number 12, Ethan Burnett. Cougars have been rolling 4 lines pretty much all night. 3 deep pairings, showing off their depth in a dominating win. Here's Clampett, tried to spin and shoot. Another save from Zane Spaniel. Minute and 10 seconds left to go. Fired in, deflected by Grozik, trying to redirect into the back of the net. Didn't quite get through. Here's Burnett, one of the fourth liners for the Bengals. Gets it out wide as we've got a minute left to go in this one. Barnett down low as Krinky laid down a big check on Ryan Salo to welcome him to the game. Out to neutral ice, Parent chipped it back in. So with Escobedo switching it out and icing against the Cougars, won't stop the clock here with 35 and still rolling. And Centennial leading it 7-1. 7 different goal scorers for the Cougars here tonight. It will end up as 2-point nights for Peyton Blair and Harper Searles. Drake Ramirez extended a point scoring streak to 12 games in a row to start the season, courtesy of his power play goal that's going to go down in the book as the game winner at the tail end of the first period that put the Cougars up for good in this one. Centennial finish off the season sweep of their rivals, and they do it in dominating fashion, nearly reaching 60 shots on goal on the afternoon. Final in this one, Centennial 7, Blaine finishes with 1. Matt Dean here signing off from North Metro TV as the Cougars take it over the Bengals, and they see it through with a couple of insurance tallies in the third. The final, the Cougars 7 and Blaine 1 in this one. So long, everybody.